Hello, everyone. I welcome you all for this new series on fundamentals of cybersecurity. I welcome you on my channel. This is a new series after a very long time, and I'll go ahead with all those things which is there and very important for the cybersecurity. You see, the topics that I'm covering up is a very concrete to the fifth semester GTU, Gujarat Technological University. I'm following that syllabus here, and I want to cover that whole thing and make a course for it. So it's not like people can't understand it. Definitely they're gonna understand, but the topics are very concrete there. Okay, I'm taking the syllabus, so yes, for sure that I will take a topic and then get into the deepened part, and we will see the various aspect of the topic. But it is a very concrete syllabus. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything like that. I'm going to make another series for like topic wise in that, but right now it is like I'm following a syllabus, so that's the thing. So let's get started. So the first thing that fundamentals in cybersecurity deals with, it says that how to become, okay, how to become a cybersecurity analyst or an engineer. So the question is how. Let me take a very pen here. So basically the question, it is still not thickened. So let me have a thickened bar here. So this is good. So the question is how to become cybersecurity analyst. This is basically a question that generally youngsters are having. They do not know how to start, how to become cybersecurity. This H is not thickened, so let me thicken. How to become cybersecurity analyst. Do not worry if I'm writing too much slow, because after a long time I'm getting started with this. So the question is how to become cybersecurity analyst or engineer. So the very starting point is, how can you start? You can start with learning programming languages. This is a very important point. There are phases. There are maybe 5 or 6 phases that you have to follow. If you do not follow it, then you are going to lagging in between, right? So the first thing that you need to learn is something called as programming, as well as scripting. These two things are important. So let me write it down here, and how to erase this thing. So it's a small eraser I have. Yeah, there we go. And again, I'm so sorry if I'm taking too much time here, but this is the thing. Okay, so the first thing is you need to understand what are the programming language that are important in cybersecurity. So it's not like you need to learn every programming language, but still need some programming language, programming and scripting language. I'll tell you what programming language and what scripting language you need to be very clear with. So the first language that you should know, it's a best language of all. People are using it too much. It's a Python. Okay, you need to be very clear with your Python. The elementary programming language, that means C, C++. You also need to be very good at PHP. Why it is, I'll tell you. Then you need to be very clear with JavaScript. This is also very important. And apart from that, it starts with Java. This is also good. And once you get this, it's a small amount of programming language. You also need to know about Perl and Go. This language is not that very compulsory, but if you learn, it's an add-on to your knowledge. So apart from that, you should also have a knowledge on Bash script for Linux. It's a command line programming language, and for Windows, you should know about PowerShell. So these are the things that you should be very clear with. I understand that this is too much of languages. However, if you are in a bachelor's course or in master's course, half of the language you already had done. Just like C and C++, it comes in your initial semesters, like first or second or third semester. You already had learned this. You just have to go ahead and revise the things, revise the topics, get into the internals, advanced topics. You can do that, right? That's simple. PHP and Java and JavaScript comes in your advanced semesters, like maybe in sixth, seventh, or maybe in fifth semesters. You learn this, right? So What languages you need to learn is basically Python. I do not know whether the Python comes in your semester or not, because different universities and colleges are having different uh, have syllabus and elective subjects, right? So maybe I do not know whether Python comes or not, but you need to learn Python. It's a very important language. Then this Bash script and PowerShell is also important. So you need to learn these three languages. They are extra add-ons. Other languages you need just have to revise it. No problem in it. So these are the languages that you need to be very clear with. All right, and why? See, Python, most of the scripting right now is written in Python, so you need to learn it. C and C++, they are pretty much low level language. I mean, it is very near to the machine. Oh, you see, it's very near. So you need to learn, because people, just as malware author, or maybe a kind of a person who writes so much of softwares and developing things, they pretty much write those things in C and C++. If they are writing malwares, precisely it is written in C sharp or C or in C++, right? Three languages are very pretty much famous in malware, uh, malware, what do you call, development, right? So it's very important that you write something or you learn something on C, C++. And a PHP JavaScript, well, basically it is a website development, or when you want to see the internal details of website, its source code, what kind of scripting they had used, you need to learn PHP and JavaScript for that. Because if you are going ahead to analyze a website or a hack a website, I mean, I never recommend that, but to analyze that, you need to have an understanding of PHP and JavaScript. It's a very important thing, right? So the first thing is we need to understand the programming language. Once you go ahead with the programming language, the second step that you need to clear with is something called as operating system. Let me take another pen here. So to differentiate programming language, the next thing is operating system. Now, sir, why operating system? Well, it's very necessary. Why? You already know 3-4 operating system, just like you know Windows. Why? It's a business or education purpose operating system, so we all know Windows. But I am pretty much sure that you never go ahead with the advanced skills or advanced techniques in Windows, just like you do not know how to see event viewer, or I can say you do not know how to see the logs of Windows, you do not know how to configure your firewall, right? So that way you need to understand the operating system. It's just not like right click and create a folder, delete a folder, create a file, delete a file. It's not like that. Open a program, control panel, uninstall a program, not like that. You need to understand the advanced techniques, such as modifying your firewall, which is a good thing, right? So you need to take Windows into consideration. And why Windows? Because generally, mostly, if you see the statistics, the major attacks that happens in this operating system, Windows operating system, and then once you go ahead with the Windows, you need to, it's a simple thing, you just need to learn Linux distribution. All Linux distribution. What do you mean by distributions? It means the varieties of Linux, such as Ubuntu, we have Kali, we have Fedora, we have Solaris, we have Red Hat, such as all Linux distributions. Not very compulsory, but at least you go ahead and learn a command line Linux system, then it would be good. Such as you can go ahead with the Unix system. Okay, you go ahead with the Unix system and learn the command line Linux, and you'd be very good at it, right? So instead of creating right click and create a folder, you can have a command of that, okay, mkdir, and create a folder. That way it is good, right? Why command line? Well, command line is very important to configuring things very quickly, right? In Windows, if you want to create a folder, there is a specific program for that, right? However, in Linux, there is no specific program. There is a command for that, which is very fast in nature. So that's why we are using Linux distribution. It's a easily modified operating system. It's open source, right? So Linux distributions. Once you are good at these two operating system, there is no need for Mac actually, but it depends on the whole budget and all. If you are having enough budget, you can have ISO of I do not know whether Mac operating system gives you ISO, but you can learn about Mac. It is also a very compulsory thing. Sir, two things is done. What is the third thing? I'll tell you. Third thing is basically the worst thing that people generally do not like. Well, it's something called as a networking fundamental. So fundamental of networking. Fundamental of networking. People do not like this. They don't like networking concept. But the base of, you see, cybersecurity is networking. If you are not good at networking, you will not understand anything in cybersecurity, because everything is connected there, right? So please go ahead and see the elementary or fundamental networking so that you can learn. Now I'm not saying to cover up all the things in networking, but there is some specific topic. I'll tell you what specific topic you need to be very good at it. You need to understand what is OSI layer. It's a very good thing if you understand. Once you're good at it, OSI layer, I mean the 7 layers which are there, if you're good at it, you will see the things. Okay, you will understand at least a minor part. So after the OSI layer, you need to understand the protocols. Different type of protocol. Sir, what protocol? Majorly, you need to understand what is HTTP, the most precisely TNS, FTP, also the mail protocol, SMTP, POP and all. I'm giving you the only internals. This is the protocol, and mostly famously, the whole networking depends on TCP/IP. If you are not good at TCP/IP, which is the core of cybersecurity, if you are not good at it, then you will not learn anything in it. Okay, so please, if you are still not at the phase of TCP/IP, if you are not getting the header and footer and the payload and all of TCP/IP, then please learn it. It's a very important thing. You need to see this. All right. And then apart from that, you need to see what is SSH, because people are always doing this. A secure shell. Then also we have a secure socket layer, SSL or TLS. So you also have to see this. Apart from that, you also should have a knowledge on port and IP addresses, which means IP layer itself. So this is important. So learn about this. All right. Once you do it, you will get enough knowledge. So these are the things. This is the third step. Sir, what after this? If you learn these 3 things, I mean fundamentals and all, sir, I know these things. Apart from that, what I have to learn? Well, after you learn this networking, the 4th thing that you need to learn is security aspects or fundamental. Simply security fundamental, the fundamental of security. Why? Because once you enter into the field of cybersecurity, there are tons of terminologies which you need to be very clear with, such as you do not know a 0-day attack, maybe you do not know the exact meaning of exploit, maybe you do not know the meaning of hack value. Okay, so these important codes or terminologies, you need to learn it. What is CIA triad? You need to learn it, right? Because that is the triad that people generally follow, right? So difference between authentication and authorization, you need to learn. So these things you specifically have to learn, right? Security fundamental. So I'm just putting the terminologies here, so please learn the terminologies. We will see some of the terminologies in this session, in this course. I mean, once you learn the security fundamentals, it's time to develop something. Okay, now it's the developing phase. You can develop, let me not put the let me just yeah. So now I know how to erase things. Okay, so a development phase. It's a development phase. So what kind of development, sir? Once you learn everything, like 4 steps you already had learned, what can you develop? You can develop your own script. You can develop your own script, and apart from script, you should get a knowledge about different things, such as the new technology such as Node.js, Angular. because web is, you know, based on these technologies right now. So you need to be very clear with JSP, jQuery. They are very important. And yeah, the elementary HTML and CSS. Okay, sir, I know this, I already know this thing. So development is, I think it would be easy for you once you be once you are good at development phase. The last step is a very simple for you. It's nothing but you will learn how to host the things. Once you had developed your script and something, some tool or application, once you develop it, you need to upload it. So deployment phase. So it's a deploy, give it to the public so that other hackers, other script kiddies can use it. So deployment, deploy to the GitHub. It's an important thing. And there are many other you know, tools, such as you can also go ahead with Travis. You can join any forum to show your skills. So these are the 6 steps that you will see, learn, and these 6 steps will lead you to become a cybersecurity analyst. I hope you are getting this. Now, sir, there is a question. What is the question, sir? Question is simple. What field should I choose? Because there are so many. Yes, there are many fields. Again, this is the problem. Many fields of cybersecurity. What are the fields, sir? On what field should I go? Well, see, the first field, I mean, not like in priority wise, but you can go ahead with computer security. If you love it, if you love computer, if you can modify and do so many things inside it, you can go ahead. The second thing is, you can go for information security. Information security. If you are good at, you know, different networks, then you can go ahead with a network security. There is also something called as cloud security. There are different branches. You can put your effort to be a malware analyst. Sometimes they are also known as a reverse engineer, and they are the god of cybersecurity, because these people are having too much of knowledge, so much of knowledge. Okay, they are very good at. So you can also become a vulnerable assessment analyst, vulnerability assessment, or vulnerability analyst. I'll tell you all about things. Then if you malware analysis is done, if what else you can do, you can become a penetration tester. They are also very good. Pen tester. You can also become like cryptography person. Cryptography. You can also go ahead with something called as forensics. Okay, so these are some of the, yeah, there is also GHI. There is also one more department known as application, or you can say software security or application security, which are nothing but testers who test your application for bugs and security loopholes. So you see, these are some of the important security fields. However, in application there are so many things. I mean, website, mobile, everything will comes up. Okay, it consists of too many things, so I'm covering this up as a root of all. So these are the things that you can go ahead and check out for your, you know, for your own career path. So I hope you understand some of the things to go ahead with this field, and I hope you like this. If you like it, please subscribe my channel, and I wish you good luck for that. Okay, thank you so much. We will see you in the next session. Thank you.